Hey folks, this is Vincent Adeli with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly review Star Wars Unlimited. This is a 2 or more player collectible card game, one that I unboxed in a video a while ago, but we never actually played a game on camera, nor did we do a review video on it. And I did a digital playthrough with the computer on forcetable.net. That's a great site, by the way. So we thought we would take some time and sit down and learn the game. Teach her how to play.
Yes.
She played as Darth Vader with the standard Darth Vader deck. I played as Luke Skywalker, but I did change my deck a little bit. The default deck gave him a yellow base, and I substituted for a green base, took out the yellow cards, and added some green cards into my deck, and just to test out the whole deck building experience. And for the record, this is all I own. I own the starter Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, and the game comes with just 2 empty boxes to use. I think that's the release, whatever that is.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And then I did get some extra cards here, which there's not a whole lot in there. So what is this game all about? Well, each player is going to get a leader and a base and a 50-plus card deck. And the leaders come out immediately, the base comes out immediately, and a player starts with a hand of 6 cards, 2 of which are starting. You pick as starting resources face down. And from there, you're going to be playing cards in 2 different theaters. There's the space theater and there's the land theater. And it's separate. Space cannot attack ground and vice versa, unless there's a special effect or card that says otherwise. And what's cool is each leader not only has an action it can do if you exhaust it and spend an action, for example, Luke's case here, but once per game, you can flip it over as an epic action, assuming you've got the requirement fulfilled on the bottom here. But you can flip it over and put it into play on the ground side, and it can do battle like another unit can. For example, here's Luke's other side. Really cool. It was a tough game, this. And I don't want to get too much into the rules because my other video that has that digital playthrough goes over all of the rules. So I'm going to bypass the majority of them. We'll focus more on the quality and what we thought. I'll start with the quality. The game gives you these flimsy paper chips, whatever these are. I don't like them. I mean, I know acrylic isn't a thing in games anymore unless you order them special. But it would have been nice to have something better quality. And these boxes that came with it, very flimsy. These cards feel thinner than other cards I've played in other games. So just all around, it felt cheap. Unfortunately.
And how much was the game?
I don't remember.
Oh.
The starter, I think, was I don't know, between 30, somewhere around 30, something like that, 30, 40. And then you can buy, because it's a collectible card game, you can buy boosters. And boosters typically come with a leader, I think, and a base possibly, and some other things. I don't know the standard loadout. But so the game is very much simple to play, I think. It's simpler than the Star Wars, the living card game, because there's a lot more in the living card game. You've got the force battle, you've got the edge battles, you got all this other crap. So Eileen and I played, and it was tense. It was pretty tense. She was sweating over there.
You have no idea.
Yeah. So the way the game played out, I got out a couple of low-costing units early, and I kept dominating the land side. Barely any cards are being played in the space era until late game. So over here in the land area, it was back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. Luke Skywalker was adding shields to help to keep people alive. I was trying to time things. Most units, when they enter play, come in exhausted. And you have to kind of plan ahead and okay, that unit's not going to be ready now, but it will be later. So, do I put this in now? You kind of have to think ahead and plan out your moves. It's a little bit of strategy there. And when your unit has damage already, I usually use it to kill something that's fresh so that it's it double whammies. Because they attack once, stay alive, and then on its dying breath, it attacks again. It's a numbers game. It's all about statistics. But in the early part of the game, I had some healing units. I had a medical droid somewhere in this. There it is. This medical droid, every time he attacked, he healed 2 damage on another unit. I had Mon Mothma out here very early on. I attached several counters to her, a +1/+1 experience and other things, shields. She was buff, and she took out a number of units before I think Darth Vader entered play and murdered her.
Yeah.
But her resource game is on point. She had like 11 plus resources at the end of the game. She played some cards. She played a card twice. There was 2 cards, same card, but it was that one where she picks a unit and she either does 7 damage to it or I can say no, and she gets to draw 3 cards.
Yeah, the problem is that every card I drew was so expensive, and I feel like the Empire is so expensive that you have to have a big resource pool. But I don't know.
It was tight. It was tight, but toward the end there, you were starting to get some really like thematic. You got a Blizzard Assault AT-AT out here. Very expensive unit.
Yeah, I had that card for such a long time, and I wanted to attack with it. That was my downfall. I kept bringing out cards thinking they would attack at that point, but they don't. They attack in the next turn, and it was very hard to wrap my head around. So by the time, every time I threw out a card there, Vince would kill me. So I couldn't really. My goal was advantage of that.
It was I had to, because if I let those units ready up, the next round would be bad for me. Yeah. So I had to maintain control by knocking units out before they were able to ready.
Yeah.
You had a lot of cards in your hand that were like, when you play this, another unit can attack. And,
and I only ever got 1 unit in the...
Right, and not only that, but the units you did have were exhausted, and you can't, whenever you play a card that says another unit can attack, that card has to be ready to attack. She had to, I was constantly trying to keep her from readying her cards. Yeah. That's all I could do, and then I was plinking away slowly. I had an X-Wing out here for the longest time, not shown here, but I had an X-Wing out for the longest time. It was this foil wing leader card here. This was out just 2 damage every round, 2 damage, 2 damage, because she didn't have any space over here, so I just kept doing 2 damage every now and again, until she pulled out the Gladiator, and then that became a Sentinel for a round, and then I pulled out the Redemption, which healed damage from my base, and put it on the Redemption card here. It's a medical frigate, and then I pulled out a bunch of these little ones to finish her off later. Trying to think, and then you over there, you were just...
I was all over the place. I couldn't get a handle on this game. I really couldn't.
Well, Darth Vader, you brought out, you attached his lightsaber to him. You did a lot of work with him.
I feel like the payoff doesn't feel good. I spend so many, I try to keep my resource pool up there. I want to bring out at least 2 cards, and I can never bring out more than 1 card because it's so expensive, and because you keep killing me, and my head just couldn't wrap around the rules. And me personally, I don't like games that have 2 separate tableaus, kind of like a land and a... I was stuck with decision paralysis for more than half the game. That's
only because you had 8 cards in your hand, because you played those that one Darth Vader card that let you draw 3 cards.
I have so many cards, yet I can only bring 1 out or 2 because they're just too expensive.
I was surprised. I was worried that you would just blow me out of the water.
No, it just didn't work.
Well, I did nuke you a couple of times. You spent 8 resources, brought out Emperor Palpatine. And then almost immediately, I was holding on to this because I'm like, there's got to be something in her deck that's big. So I used that for 5 resources and just murdered it.
Yep.
So I was trying like heck to stay in control of both sides.
I was prepared though. I was prepared beforehand. I knew I was going to get slaughtered because this is not my type of game.
I was actually, if it puts your mind at ease though, I was disappointed. I had Luke's lightsaber from the beginning of the game.
Yeah, but it was a queen Yeah,
I know, but I
sorry.
wanted to play him and attach it and be all thematic about it. I had to sacrifice Luke to get rid of your Buffy Darth Vader over there. We both killed each other. I had to get him off the table.
Yeah.
Because you would have, because when he readied him the next turn, he would have murdered everybody.
That's how I felt with every single card I played. Like, that's really, like, I have to bring this stupid card out. I have to bring this one I don't want. I had to play this one, and like 5 times I had to reread the rules, and I still couldn't get it. I had to Google it, and I just didn't get it until I said, screw it, let me just do it. Yeah. And you can't really do that in a game like this because there's no fixing it.
What Idly forgets sometimes is that we're playing a friendly,
yes, I'm sorry,
cozy game night
this
review.
Is competitive.
To you, it's competitive. To me, I'm just having fun.
I know. It was a fun game to people who like this.
Well, that's a nice way of saying. So I guess it begs the question: is this a game you would play again, or would you rather play like the Star Wars deck building game?
I'd rather play that blackjack one. What was it called?
Star Wars. That was Empire Rebellion versus Empire, something like that. There's also the deck building game where you can attack the tableau of cards.
Like the edge battles. Did that have the edge battles?
Not edge battles. You're thinking of the living card game where we each have 3 objectives.
Yeah.
And you're trying to get your Death Star dial. The Empire's trying to get their Death Star dial to like whatever the number is.
That also had a ground and an air thing, right?
It didn't have a ground and air, but you did have to put units down.
And push them up.
And push them up to attack,
them.
Correct.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I thought that was annoying. But I liked the edge battles.
But you admitted to me during this game that you played Magic the Gathering when you were younger.
Oh God, that was decades ago. I don't remember.
My question now is, did you like when you played Magic the Gathering? Did you like it?
It was okay. I liked it. I liked the tapping.
Well, tapping surprisingly is you can't call anything else. Tapping was copyrighted or whatever by Wizards of the Coast. It's everything else is called exhausted.
Really?
Yes. But anyway, you liked Magic somewhat. And this game, I like the fact that there is no mana colors to worry about like in Magic. Rather, put cards face down, and then they're a neutral resource that you can use to do pretty much anything.
But don't you have to match?
So that's that's deck building.
Yeah.
When you're deck building, let's do this proper. So you're gonna pick a deck. You're gonna pick a base, and you're gonna pick a hero.
Yeah.
They've got icons on them: green, blue, and yellow. That means that you want to put those colors in your deck in order to pay the normal cost whenever you play a card. If you happen to, let's say I had this card in my deck for whatever reason, I can do that. I can play the Blizzard Assault AT-AT. Even though it's Luke Skywalker, I can still play this. I've got the green symbol for it, but I don't have the black symbol for it. This means I have to pay an extra 2 resources or exhaust an extra 2 resources if I go to play this. So you can play any card anywhere, but if you don't have the matching symbols, then you're going to pay extra for it. Okay. And that's a risk that card could turn the tide for me, but I have to accept the fact that if I do that, it's going to cost me extra. I like that freedom of choice, personally. I really like that. I just wish the quality of everything was better. Yeah. Personally.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. You were saying about Magic the Gathering.
Well, just Magic. I'm surprised that you cared for Magic, but didn't,
care for this one.
Right. Where this is simple. This is simpler. Magic mana colors. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm not putting you on the spot. I'm just curious.
To me, it's not that simple because I don't remember Magic starting off with tapped. Did they start off with tap?
I believe that whenever you put a unit into play, it was exhausted. Oh, okay. I believe it entered play. I haven't played Magic in 10 plus years. Yeah. But most card games, they enter play exhausted so that you just can't. Because there are usually some kind of you've got restore, you've got ambush. There's a whole thing on the back. I think one of them is ambush. After you play this unit, it may ready and attack an enemy unit. So, like, there are keywords that break that rule, and I'm pretty sure Magic had something like that. I just don't remember what the keywords were.
Okay.
I could be wrong. It's been years.
Maybe I liked the art of Magic better. Who knows?
Maybe. I played a little bit of Magic back in the day, but the only thing I hated about Magic was you only drew one card at the end of your turn. Unless you had a blue scry deck where you could pick cards out of your deck, you were stuck with, like, you could bring 60 cards to the table, but you'd only see 10 of them because the game would be over by then. I didn't like that about Magic.
Yeah.
The living card game, the Star Wars living card game, at the end of every turn, you drew up to your hand size. I love that about Star Wars, the living card game.
Okay.
That's why I prefer it over Magic.
I think I played Magic like 4 times or 5 times.
Okay.
But I liked it. And I don't know, maybe I just...
Maybe you'd hate it now then.
Maybe, you know what, that's true. Maybe I would hate it now, actually. Yeah. Maybe I'd be like, gosh, let me play Star Wars Unlimited again.
I'm curious, what do you think of the art?
I like it. It's toony.
See, I preferred the art in the living card game over. This is like, I don't know is it anime, manga? I don't know what this is. What would you classify this as?
I don't know, toon. Like
cartoony.
Cartoon.
Right. Like, this reminds me of like Star Trek, the animated series.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't mind.
Yeah. So it's okay. I preferred the art on the living card game as opposed to this manga.
Is it the living card game just like the real
screenshot?
photos?
Yeah, it's like screen. I believe no. I think they did more realistic art. I can't remember. I'm getting them confused at this point, but I know that one of the card games that we have Star Wars related, it was like near realistic art.
Yeah.
And other games were just screenshots. I don't remember which ones were which at this point, but this
I don't mind these.
You don't mind it?
Yeah, I actually like it. It's cute.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's too bad the cards are flimsy though. Like you really need sleeve protectors for this.
I'm gonna have to. You were sweating.
Not only that, but it does.
I look and her cards are like
bent, like completely bent. Yeah, I feel bad. I was like doing this.
I'm over here like this is a tactic to get under my skin, isn't it?
I wish, but yeah, I can picture these like already right now. Like I can see the cracks forming in.
And that's my complaint. These cards are flimsy. They need to be better quality, in my opinion, especially for a CCG collectible card game, in my opinion. Yeah. So, anything else to say about Star Wars Unlimited before we go?
No, you beat me fair and square.
You did well for your first game, for the record.
For my first game, I did terrible. I did atrocious.
No, you did, for a beginner, you did great. The game lasted about an hour and a half, but...
I usually get the strategy well, like mid to late game. I never got the strategy until... I don't think I still got the strategy. If you like this game but don't like... If you want to play this again but you're scared by the strategy... ForceTable.net. Yeah.
Play against the AI.
I'm going to have to do that.
They've got the starter decks there, and you can even build your own decks.
Yes.
So if you want to practice and then come back to me in like a month.
It'd be like chess all over again.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
No. She's good.
No.
So that was Star Wars Unlimited cozy review. Do I recommend this? Yes and no. It's an expensive endeavor. And I have a lot of those. Used to. I don't have the money for these board games anymore. Not embargoes, but tariffs and the like have raised prices everywhere. On top of that, collectible card games are not cheap.
Yeah.
And it's a loot box kind of thing. You don't know what you're going to get. Whereas with the living card game, I have most of them. And whenever you buy a pack from Star Wars Living Card Game, you know exactly what you're getting in that pack. It's just one pack. It's predetermined what's in there, and you own all of them. You own all of them. That's it. There's no like, well, maybe I'll get a foil, or maybe I'll get Darth Vader. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is loot box. This is a loot box collectible card game, and for that reason, in today's economy, it's hard to swallow.
Yeah.
For the poor to moderate income people. So it's expensive.
Yeah.
I like the gameplay and I like the mechanics. Not a fan of the price, not a fan of the art. Or not the art, but the quality of the components.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't have to go to GameGenic or some other place and buy acrylic tokens. I think, I don't know, I think that the quality should be a bit better than what it is by default. So, anyway, Star Wars Unlimited. This is Vince Donatoli. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all next time. Take care.
Guys.